נעבור אל המשפחה שכבר ישובה בפינת הרעיונות שלנו. ובכן, מדי שנה בשנה, במשך 18 השנים האחרונות, אתם אורזים את המזוודות, משפחת אופק מירושלים, ההורים והילדים, ולוקחים כמובן גם את הילדים לחצי שנה לחיות בהודו.
בן אדם נוסע לאיפה שטוב לו, לנו טוב בהודו. האווירה, הפשטות, החיים, הגישה האחרת לחיים.
אנחנו פשוט חיים את החיים אחרת. אנחנו רוצים לדעת למה אנחנו חיים, ואנחנו הולכים לשם ומקבלים את התשובה.
מה עם התשובות? אנחנו כל כך סקרנים לשמוע כבר.
התשובות היא לא בדיוק מה לעשות, אלא איך לעשות. זו ראייה שונה של החיים בכלל.
ואתם התחתנתם והבאתם את יהונתן ויוהנה, שנמצאים גם הם באולפן. ערב טוב לכם. יוהנה, גם את מרגישה את אותה שלווה שאמא ואבא מדברים עליה?
כן, גם.
יונתן, החיים בכפר בהודו, חצי שנה בארץ, חצי שנה בכפר בהודו, זה לא מעבר חריף מדי עבורך?
לא.
מה אתה מצליח להוציא מתוך הכפר הזה? מה מוצא חן בעיניך שם?
לי יש שם חברים. הרבה חברים, ויש שם נהר.
בבקשה, ממש נהדרת. ממש... גו, יונתן, גו!
אני יהונתן. נולדתי למשפחה שנוסעת כל שנה לאשרם אננדוואדי שבדרום הודו כדי ללמוד מגורו דב. גורו שהוריי האמינו שיוכל להביא אותנו להערה. כל שנה מהיום שנולדתי ועד הצבא גרתי 5 חודשים באשרם.
יופי שנפגן בחיפה, ללה, ללה.
גאנז אנד רוזס, כן, שניהם, קווין 1 ו2. ואיך מפסיקים?
בגיל 12 ביקשתי מצלמת וידאו לבר מצווה, ובלי לשים לב התחלתי לתעד את החיים שלנו בישראל ובהודו. באשרם היו לי חברים מכל העולם. היינו ממציאים משחקים, רצים ומטפסים על עצים ואוכלים מהם מנגו וגויאבה. כל יום אחר הצהריים נפגשנו כדי לשחות בנהר. למדנו אומנות לחימה הודית, ובלילה היינו משחקים קלפים ומדברים. היינו חופשיים. בזמנים שונים היינו כ-40 ילדים משם, והם היו כמו אחים ואחיות שלי.
ב-73 הייתה מלחמה, שבלית ברירה השתתפתי בה, וכשעברנו את התעלה, הייתה עלינו הפגזה של קטיושות. ראיתי על המשאית למעלה, וראיתי שרגל שמאל שלי רועדת מפחד. ברגע שהייתי מודע לכך שהרגל רועדת מפחד, עצמתי את העיניים, עשיתי קפיצת הדרך להודו, ראיתי אותו, נרגעתי, וכל היתר זה היה משחק של ילדים אחרים סביבי. כשהוא אומר, without me nothing is, זה בעצם משפט שקרישנה היה אומר. אני חושב, אני אפילו לא יודע. without me nothing is, זאת אומרת, בלעדיו שום דבר לא קיים. אז זה לא בלעדיו כאדם, זה משולב של בן אדם שהוא אל.
להורים היו 2 שיחות ביום, שעה בבוקר, שעה וחצי אחר הצהריים. בתור הקטנטנים הייתה מטפלת, תמיד אישית. כשגדלנו היינו חופשים. ואז היינו מסתובבים בשכונה, בכפרון. אני חושבת שהיה תקופה גם שהם ניסו לעשות תורנות הורים, אבל זה לא עבד להם. ההורים לא רצו להפסיד. מי שחי שם, חי בתוך מין בועה כזו של הרבה פחות התחבטויות יומיומיות והחלטות, וכאילו זה מאוד פשוט. יש סדר יום, קמים בבוקר, הולכים לנהר, הולכים לתוק, הולכים לזה, זה מאוד מובנה, אין יותר מדי עם מה להתעסק. שקט, זה מאוד שקט לחיות ככה.
מה הפעם הראשונה שהגעת להודו, מה היה?
מהמם. פשוט מהמם.
את מדברת על הודו או על הכפר?
אין בשבילי הבדל בין הודו והכפר, הודו בשבילי זה הכפר.
אוקיי.
אבל אני זאת אומרת, אני מאוד מוגבלת במה שאני ארצה לדבר, האמת.
למה?
כי זו חוויה מאוד פרטית, ולא חוויה בשביל אחר לשמוע, כי הוא לא מסוגל לשמוע כמו מה שאני אומרת. זה נקרא דרשן טריה, בסנסקריט. אתה לא אומר משהו שהשני לא יכול להבין. אם מישהו לא היה בחוויה כזאת, הוא לא יכול להבין.
מה היה כשפגשת את גורודב בפעם הראשונה? הגעת וידעת שהוא המורה שלך?
כן.
מתי?
כשראיתי צילום שלו בפריז.
אז לפני שהגעת.
כן.
מה, הצילום ידעת שהוא המורה שלך?
כן.
רק על פי תמונה?
ממש לא. ממש לא. כשאני מדברת על המורה שלי, אני מדברת בזהירות מאוד גדולה.
למה?
כי הוא המורה שלי.
אוקיי.
וזה הדבר הכי יקר לי. אתה מדבר כאילו שזה בן אדם. מורה הוא לא בן אדם, מורה הוא מורה.
מה הוא אם הוא לא בן אדם?
מורה.
הוא לא בן אדם?
כשהוא מורה הוא לא בן אדם. אתה לפחות לא יכול להתייחס אליו כמו אל בן אדם. זו התייחסות לא נכונה.
אבל בן אדם. בשיחות היו שואלים את גורודב מה משמעות החיים, והוא היה עונה שאנחנו כאן כדי להבין את האמת. והאמת היא שאתה לא הגוף שלך, אתה לא המוח שלך, אתה אושר אינסופי, שמחה, אהבה וידע טהור. הדרך היחידה להתעורר מהאשליה ולהיזכר בטבע האמיתי שלך היא בהדרכה של גורו אמיתי. כל שנה כשחזרנו מהודו לישראל, אסור היה לי לספר לאף אחד שום דבר על האשרם. לא לחברים, לא למשפחה ולא למורים. אמרו לי שכדי להגן על עצמי אסור לי לספר. כששאלו אותי בבית ספר למה אני נוסע להודו, לאורך השנים המצאתי הרבה סיפורים. שלאבא שלי יש מסעדות בהודו, שאנחנו נוסעים לקנות תבלינים, ושיש לי סבא הודי. בגיל 21 סיימתי צבא, התחלתי ללמוד קולנוע ולא חזרתי יותר לאשרם. בגיל 28 עזבתי את ירושלים ועברתי לגור בתל אביב. עבדתי כצלם והתחלתי טיפול פסיכולוגי שנמשך 7 שנים. הטיפול עזר לי המון, אבל היו דברים שלא הצלחתי לדבר עליהם. ובאיזשהו שלב, הפסיכולוג שלי התחיל לרמוז שאולי כדי שאעשה סרט על הילדות שלי באשרם. באשרם גדלו איתי עוד כ-40 ילדים. לא שמרתי איתם על קשר ב-20 השנים האחרונות. עם הזמן, כשלא מדברים, גם הזיכרון מתחיל להיעלם.
Hello?
Hello.
Hey, Jonathan.
Yeah.
Hey, how are you, Jonathan?
Good. How are you?
Can you hear me? Good to hear you, man.
Yeah, you too.
You look the same as you did as a kid.
Thanks. You too.
Are you in Israel right now?
Yeah, I'm in Tel Aviv now.
Oh man, takes me back.
Yeah, probably, 15 years at least?
At least 20.
Oh my god. That's ridiculous. I mean, that's like, I don't know where to start after so many years.
Exactly.
Well, I want to hear more about this project.
It's something we've been told never to talk about.
Because, like, the way that I deal with the past is just not to think about it. It's coming back in bits and pieces, but I blocked it out, and I'm just trying to think, like, the less I let him get to me, the more better future I'll have.
Look, if you agree, first of all, I'd be super happy if you agree to be in this, and of course, we don't have to film your kids or family, or we don't even have to show your house. I mean, it's up. Everything is okay. It's up to you. So.
I don't know. I'm not involved. I don't talk to people about it. It's not a part of my life anymore.
Until I got the message from you, it's something I don't really think about very much, but, my mom still goes. So my way is just sort of like, she wants to do it, she can keep going, we just don't talk about it.
I'm not sure I have the courage to do what you're asking. It makes me so emotional. It makes me very anxious to the point where I'll be sick. It'll hurt my stomach and I'll be sick.
החרמו זה דבר די דוחה. זה גם מאוד מעייף.
מה זה?
פשוט מאוד מעייף הטיפולים.
חשבתי לבוא לקפל פה ולבקר אותך עוד שבועיים.
וואו. ג'ו, עוד שבועיים זה האחרון. אם הייתי פה, הכל בסדר. באמת שלא צריך.
אני יכולה לשלוח לך משהו מפה מארצות הברית?
אולי ריסוס פיסס.
סבבה. סוכר להאכיל את המחלה.
תגיד, ואתה עושה איזה שינוי בחיים? שינוי נפשי, כאילו, בשביל לטפל בסרטן מהצד הזה שלו?
השינוי הוא בזה שאני עושה את הסרט הזה. אבל אז קיבלתי סרטן בבטן. אז אני לא יודע אם זה היה רעיון כל כך טוב. בגדול אני ממשיך לפתוח דברים ולדבר על הכל. אני מקווה שזה לא יהרוג אותי.
תשמע.
Hey, man. I haven't heard from you in so long. I'm so happy that you agreed to be in my film.
I'm happy to talk. I'm happy. I think I want to get the reflection, to know that this happened. We had such a crazy childhood over there. Was I imagining it? Was I in a mental institution hallucinating that this happened because it's so strange? Maybe, but when there are other people, I can verify that no, this happened.
אהלן, יונתן.
היי, מה?
מה נשמע?
הכל טוב, הוא עבר על הבדיקות דם, הכל בסדר.
וואו, זה נהדר.
הוא אמר שאני כן, שאני יכול לטוס בראש שקט, והוא קבע לי לעוד חצי שנה הפעם.
יופי, אני ממש שמחה לשמוע. נהדר. נהדר לשמוע שהבדיקות כולם בסדר. מרגיע. בעניין הסרט, אני מוטרדת מאוד על זה. כי אני חושבת קצת טעיתי שלא אמרתי לך מההתחלה שאי אפשר לעשות סרט על הודו. טעות, לא שמרתי עליך בצורה נכונה.
לא לצלם מצליחה להגיד. תפתחי את הפה.
כנראה שזה דבר לא טוב בשבילך, לא טוב בשביל כולנו.
מה זאת אומרת?
אין רשות לעשות את הסרט הזה. כולם הולכים לנסות לשכנע את כל הילדים שלהם לא להתראיין. אבל זה חמור, יונתן. זה מאוד חמור. אני לא יכולה להופיע בכלל בסרט שלך.
Bernie, he has to say hello. It's not an option.
Hi, so cute. Hey. Yeah.
Wow.
Long time.
Oh my God. Well,
How are you?
I'm well. You know when you're looking for something and you don't see it?
Yeah.
But you know it's there?
Yeah. You're right in front of your eyes.
That's when you turn your back and give it a chance to be there. And then there it is. A glitch in the matrix.
Yeah.
Step one is to get some curry leaves.
Okay.
Good one. Okay. Yeah. Now, you stir it, let it toast, stir it, and somehow it turns into poti. When we moved to India, I remember they're telling me that we're gonna leave, and I had the last soccer game, and I was 8. But I still remember that soccer game. It was my last kind of what I would consider normal American day. You had the orange slices at halftime, the Kool-Aid. When we moved to India, it was so different. I was there for a long time, like 15 years.
But what did they tell your parents? Sorry, what did they tell you when you were going there?
We're moving to India.
For what?
Yeah, I don't know if they even explained it. I remember jumping off of moving trucks. Remember the sand trucks?
Yeah, jumping onto them.
Jumping into them from walls above them as they drove past. All sorts of stupid stuff we did. We're always injured.
Yeah. Do you believe in the philosophy we were taught?
To me, it was an immediate questioning of the authorities, basically, was you learn that you don't need objects to be happy, to have happiness. But if you remember the gold Rolex that he wore, the perfumes that his daughters would wear, and the silk saris and gold everywhere, I always thought, well, that doesn't make any sense at all because you're saying one thing and doing another. So very early, I was really bad at sitting in that room.
I mean, you appeared to me like, I'm sorry, this is a detour, but you appeared to me like a really, really good disciple. Like the holy kid trying, his best and really. And that was what I mean, that's what I got from you.
That's what I wanted to be, yeah, sure. You want to be a good kid? I remember the last probably 4 years I was there, I never prostrated. I was just there. And I'd leave, stand in the back, just make an appearance.
Oh, you're a courageous kid.
No, it was easy then because if you it was rushed. And if you waited too long, he could just leave. And so I always managed to wait till he was going to leave. And then people would even throw themselves on the ground when his back was turned. But I just thought, you know, I had to make that appearance. And then I was free. I remember when I left, he asked me who I was. And somebody said, Steve's son. And I thought, that's odd. I've been here like 15 years. So I think that sums up my relationship with him. I lived outside of his vision.
Yeah. It's like we grew up in two different places. I never even thought about the possibility of not believing.
I do remember feeling like we were looking after each other, we were raising each other, sharing wisdom and knowledge and ways to get away with things and ways to make things easy. We had our own culture as children because the adults were gone.
יונתן, הלחצים והטלפונים שאני מקבלת כבר מגיעים למצב בלתי נסבל, והיום, מה שאמרו לי היום זה, אם יונתן יעשה את הסרט, אם אני לא עוצרת אותך, כל המשפחה שלנו תיהרס. All your family will be destroyed. לא עומדת בזה יותר.
זה... פשוט שאת... גם ככה את לא יכולה את לא יכולה להגיד לי מה לעשות, נכון? אז כאילו... אז שתגידי להם את זה. את לא שולטת בי, זה לא החלטה שלך. אם יש להם בעיות, שיתקשרו אליי. זהו. שלא ידברו איתך יותר.
Wow. So long. How are you?
Good.
Good.
You? A bit tired, though.
Yeah, yeah, I imagine. Yeah.
Wow.
My mom and I went there to live when I was 6. So pretty much my whole childhood was in India. Everybody who knows me knows that I grew up in India, and they actually think they like it. You know, they that's sort of my identity to them.
It is. So people do know?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, well, they don't know about Anandvadi, but they know that I grew up in India. But, you know, like I said, I tell them that my dad worked as an English teacher there, which is, I tell them that because it's not a lie. It's the truth. It's only part of the truth.
Do you say the word ashram or just India?
India. Just say India. Tell them I grew up in a village in India.
Yeah, so it's definitely, there's a coolness to it.
Yeah. The only time it's ever gotten kind of awkward is when they've asked me why my dad got a job in India, of all places. And I just tell them I don't know. I just tell them I never asked him that. You know, I attended the talks, you know, from the age of 9. I wasn't at all there against my will. I was very interested in the spiritual, even at a young age. I never felt But I thought that, you know, I basically thought, it's a good thing I am, because if I ever one day lost my devotion, then bad things would happen to me. And I also remember stories about people who had been disciples in the past, who left and decided not to come back, and who decided that this, you know, Anandvadi wasn't for them, and that bad things later happened to these people, or like they got in accidents, or, you know, they got, you know, divorces or lost their job or whatever.
I just wanted to ask you about your film. I mean, you've shown me some things, and I just wish it wasn't going to happen. I really do. I don't have a good feeling about it. Anandvadi exists for a purpose, for people who are seeking the spiritual and go there for it.
I just think it's okay to listen to everyone and decide for our own. I don't think that, you know.
I would hate, it will hurt you to do something that hurts Anandvadi. That is another problem. But for myself, as a disciple, I would do anything I could to stop you. I don't think it can have a good outcome. I just don't. It will hurt you.
All right. Have a good day.
Good. Take care.
You too. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
I think that it's possible that there's certain aspects of the way that Anandvadi is run by disciples that makes it cult-like. But I don't think it actually is a cult. The mental control through fear, if you talk to anybody else outside of the ashram, bad things might happen to you. Don't question certain things. Rituals have their place in religion, but once it becomes something that people obsess over and people are judged over, that seems like a cult to me. So, that's why I think that the best thing, at least for me, to do is to separate the basic teaching. If the basic teachings speak to me, which they do, then to separate that from everything else. You know, I have Gurudev's picture. I don't have it out because, you know, Rebecca comes over. I mentioned that I haven't told her about it yet. And so because of that, I keep it in a drawer.
Can you show us the picture?
Yeah.
What does it raise in you when you see the pictures?
Just somebody experiencing pure joy. I see this and I see pure joy. And happiness. And it makes me feel clear inside, I guess. It's the best way to, yeah.
There is a little bit of a void because for so long, I just couldn't share it with anybody.
Hey, good morning.
How's it going? Being told that you couldn't talk about it, being told that you needed to lie about where you were over the summer. You know, you couldn't tell people about anything that went on over there. You know, the secrecy around it.
Was there someone you felt you could share anything with?
No, I think we were taught that we couldn't share it. And so I didn't. I was a child. I didn't know any better. Oh, there were all these rituals that were all terrible. It started really early, but it would start with a guru bathing in the river that people got up for, and for some reason wanted to attend, like this was a holy moment. Then you had the greeting where you prostrate yourself in front of the guru, and if you touched his feet, you were lucky. Like, people cried for that, which, so weird. I remember the Shudim and the Ashudim. That sort of ruled our life. Basically, if you had showered and your clothes were clean, you were considered Shudim. If you touched anything that was dirty, from like a kernel of rice or a thread, I think we were super paranoid about threads, that uncleanliness, the Ashudim, would transmit to you.
It started from the age of 5. You had to plunge in the river, ideally 3 times, and then you fill a sprinkling can with river water, and you sprinkle everything when you come back from the river to your apartment. You sprinkle everything in your apartment.
We had like a Bible of what materials would transmit cleanliness and uncleanliness. So we would have like steel tongs that we would have to like lift clothes up with. You know, if you touched a wood bed frame, like that would transmit. You had to be very, very careful, you know. Oh man, yeah, that was a rough one.
If you slept in your bed was Ashram. You
Yeah.
would wake up Ashram.
Yeah.
You couldn't touch your bed. You
Yeah. Yeah. What was it for? Oh, I have no idea. Any sort of rules or discipline that can be enforced are a mechanism for control.
But maybe, I mean, really, I'm trying to, you know, I in my life, I usually try to kind of think what I can take from that.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking maybe it gives you a sort of awareness to you're walking around. I can feel that it's stone, so I'm more aware of different materials. Maybe there's a use to that.
I do not think there's any good takeaway from that, from the cleanliness rule. I mean, I'm super paranoid about like spilled water and stuff now in my life.
Why?
Because water was one of those things that, you know, if you got splashed by a drop while drinking, you know, that changed your status. And, you know, you'd have to go through this elaborate ritual to get that status back. Yeah, I mean, you know, we were in a cult. I don't know, what do you think?
I think so.
Yeah.
I guess so.
I mean, there's no real guessing about it. Like, when you think about it, when you look at the methods of the whole method or the whole setup there, like, what was being achieved? What was going on? You know, you were on such ceremony. Everybody around him was so devoted, I guess is the right word. It felt very, very scary, right? What if you did something wrong? What if you said the wrong thing? You were taught that this person had all the answers and could see through your soul, you know.
You know what? Maybe it was a cult, but maybe it was just the people around him that made it a cult. And maybe he was enlightened. Maybe he could see through our souls.
But you can abstract, you are aware that you were basically programmed to believe that, right?
What do you mean?
You're being told that this is the path, this is the way, this is the way, this is the way. You know, you were told this when you were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like, you are going against part of yourself, right?
Do you think that spiritual understanding should cause fear?
No.
Why should this cause you fear?
Yeah.
ונראה לי שאתה חושב שהייתה אופציה אחרת. לא הייתה אופציה אחרת. אם אני חושבת שאני בחרתי בהכי טוב, איך אני לא אתן לך את מה שאני חושבת שהוא הכי טוב? זה הגיוני. אבל אנשים מגדלים ילדים בדרך שהם הולכים, זה לא...
אולי זה לא נכון.
אי אפשר אחרת.
למה לא?
כי אי אפשר, לא ניתן אחרת.
אמא,
בית דתי מגדל ילדים דתיים, בית חילוני מגדל ילדים חילונים.
אני חושב שדת צריכה להיות מוגבלת מגיל 21 ומעלה.
בודהיסטים מגדלים ילדים בודהיסטים, הנוצרים מגדלים ילדים נוצרים, הדתיים היהודים מגדלים ילדים יהודים. מי שנוסע להודו גידל ילד בהודו. זה הדרך החיים, זה לא... זה כואב, זה כואב לשמוע, זה כואב לדעת שזה ככה.
לי, את יודעת מה כואב?
נו.
אני חושב שאם עכשיו הייתי יכולה לחזור אחורה בזמן ולבחור דברים שונים, אני חושב שהיית עושה דברים בדיוק אותו הדבר.
נכון.
Hey, on time, good.
Good to see you.
Me
After
too.
so long?
Yes.
Years and years.
So long ago. I have you Cody and Israeli chocolates.
Nice. Nice. Look at this.
Yeah.
There was a young period, under 10 maybe, where I felt that the other parents were looking at me as a very bad influence and a very bad kid who was leading their kids astray. I could bring all sorts of Western evils to the purity of the ashram. And I did that. I did that by bringing science fiction books, for example. I remember getting in trouble for letting, Tim and David read certain science fiction books. There was even one time when David's mother had a book burning and burned a bunch of books because she realized just how evil they were, these science fiction books. The idea was that if all the kids just grew up on the ashram and stayed on the ashram, no one needed, what do you need school for? What is there to know that you can learn in school that is of any value in comparison to the absolute truth that is being offered you right here at the Guru's feet? So why should, especially a girl, why should a girl go to school? It's the most pointless thing on earth.
When did you first hug your mother in the morning?
I don't remember hugging my mother in the mornings in India. I don't remember doing it in the evening either. And I think when we were really young, we would go to bed and she would go to leave taking. And she had to be shutam for leave taking. And I think we typically went to bed ashutam, so she couldn't hug us because she couldn't show up at leave taking ashutam. After the window of period time when we had to stay shoot 'em, you know, we would almost always inevitably become a shoot 'em, right, as kids.
Yeah.
But our parents stayed shoot 'em through the day, right, for the most part, because they were going to the talks, the samadhis, right? So they were the clean ones, we were the unclean ones. That was like the basic organizing principle, right? So on some core level, we were just the dirty, impure ones, yeah? When I quit going to Anandvadi, the last year I went, I was 16, and I was hollowed out. I had nothing inside. I had no internal resources. I had no confidence in myself and my own judgment.
Yeah.
I was so self-doubting that when I got a job at a grocery store, bagging groceries, worked there for 10 years, my boss suggested, why don't we move you up to cashier? I didn't think I could do it. And I said, please just let me stay a bagger. No one had ever given me any reason to believe in myself and in my own abilities. I had always been told that the me I thought I was actually didn't exist. And I needed to find some way to shed it like a snake sheds its skin. About age 26, I decided I could perhaps take a stab at going to college, which was something I hadn't really tried. And so I took it very slowly. I took one class, and what do you know? I did all right. Hi, Hannah. Hi, RODEON. Matthew, Salima. I had to build it brick by brick by brick, you know? That sense that, hey, wait, I can do stuff, you know? I'm capable. So I've gone from being someone who was, you know, too terrified to be a cashier to someone who's soon to publish a heavily researched book on ancient religion that I hope advances human knowledge and makes a contribution to history and science. Theory of mind or mind reading. Now, let me just explain a little bit about false beliefs and the tests that have been run to try to understand when is it that children are able to understand false beliefs. So apparently chimpanzees cannot understand false beliefs, but children, very young children, can. Thank you very much. Is there time for any more questions? Or? Thank you for having me. It's one thing for a 40-year-old adult to go seeking to sort of annihilate their ego, right? It's another thing to tell a 5-year-old who's just beginning to have a sense of self, that sense of self they're just beginning to develop is an illusion that needs to be wiped away. I mean, that to me is psychological murder of a child.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
What has been, I just mentioned a couple of the things that have been the keys, the doors through which I escaped from Anandvadi. What has been your door or doors?
I fell in love with someone.
I
was 26 and got my heart broken. And was a guy, someone, he. And he broke my heart wonderfully. Didn't care about anything anymore.
You didn't?
Yeah. Nothing matters anymore, so. Plus the fact that he saw a picture of Gurudev in my room and said, who the fuck is this ugly person? And, you know, nothing happened. So.
The world didn't come to an end.
Yeah.
A thunderbolt didn't come and strike him dead.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. I certainly thought that he could read my mind. I don't know if you felt the same way.
Yeah.
Did you think that Gurudev could see you from his picture?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I think we must have all felt that way, right? Like, I haven't polled people, but it must be.
It must be, because there used to be a picture like in the CRC or in the library, and you know, we were always sort of afraid of it, or...
It was watching you.
Yeah.
You know?
I used to hold my breath each time Gurudev was there, and then I started, I like distinctly remember doing it like in my living room in Israel. My parents had a picture of Gurudev like up in their room, and you could see it from the living room, and I would look at it and then hold my breath and, you know, kind of in respect or in awe of...
But what would he see that would be so bad, you know? Because you were trying to be a good disciple, right?
I
You
was
were
a good disciple, but then you get the sense that you're bad something somehow. You get, just growing up, you get a sense that you're bad. Something about you is bad. I don't know what it is.
Isn't that remarkable that so many of us come out of it with that?
Yeah.
Hi, Jonathan. About tomorrow, it's really not possible to shoot here in my house, and I'm not feeling well. I have a fever. So I'll talk to you when I feel better. I'm really sorry you came all this way here.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you? Is your mom here? Hey, Eva.
Good to see you. Welcome.
How are you?
Great to see you. How are you doing? Thanks for coming all this way. That's awesome.
How are you?
Great. How are you doing?
Good. I brought some Israeli chocolates, so I think that's yeah.
She.
Oh.
We would do that. Well, we gotta close the door over there. We're gonna let the dog. Yeah. There we go. She loves it. Close the door. I've had her out because she's really sorry.
It's okay. No.
What we do with Ruby is we stick our knee in her face.
Okay.
Oh, I like your sweater. Thank you.
Interesting talks. What do you have to say?
Nothing. This one's really hard. When I was a kid, whenever I had a problem, my mother told me that I was supposed to think of the Guru and chant the mantra. And so that's what I did. I felt like my thoughts were always bad. I would think about things that the ashram thought was bad. Like it could be anything from like questioning the Guru to having, honestly, what now I understand are normal thoughts, like sexual feelings and thoughts and things like that. You know, I thought those were bad. And I would pray every night that I could change that. You say, Sadguru Shri Mahatma Ananda Swarupam. It took me years and years and years to get to the point where I could stop chanting that automatically. Every time something bad happened in my life, all of a sudden I'd be going through my mind, Sadguru Sri Mahatmananda Swarupam, Sadguru Sri Mahatmananda Swarupam. As a little kid, like those kinds of concepts were too abstract for me to even register. But as a teenager, I understood it and I started to understand it. And I went through a period as a teenager where I went to the talks and I listened and I learned everything that he had to say. People would ask, what is my purpose in life? And he would say, well, your purpose in life is to realize your own true nature, that you are not your body, you are not your mind, you are beyond time, space, and causality. You are pure knowledge, pure peace, pure love, true consciousness, pure consciousness. So the only way that you can come to this reality is through the guidance of a real guru. It is the seeker's job to find a real guru. And the seeker's job is to love and serve the real guru. And through that love, you will reach your own real nature. My whole life, I was raised with this intense fear of the guru, and that this had accomplished exactly the opposite. And that actually all I got from his teaching was fear. I was scared, and that was it. And that in fact, I had gotten a lot closer to love and truth and peace by breaking myself away from him. I came back to the ashram when I was 25 years old with the intent that I needed to tell the guru what I really thought. I was so intensely scared. I was shaking. I was sweating. I was horrified. I thought lightning was going to strike me down. It was going to come from the sky and strike me down. Who was I to stand in front of God and tell him that he was full of shit? And yet, here I was doing it because something in me made me do it. I had to do it.
What happened after?
Lightning didn't strike me out of the sky. In fact, God was clueless. God couldn't register a single word I said. God couldn't remember who I was, couldn't remember who my mother was. And he got up and he walked away. And I was like, oh my God, this guy who I thought was this all-powerful, omnipotent, omnipresent, all-powerful guru, he's nothing. And how in the world could that have power over me? And everything that I was scared of was nothing more than a demented little old man. That's it. He was not God. He was a demented little old man, and that's all he was, and he had no power whatsoever. It's hard, huh? Mm-hmm. I'm fine. I think it's kind of triggering for him, though.
I know. I was listening to you.
Mm-hmm. So listen, you need a hug?
Definitely.
Yeah. So listen, I mean, you and me, we need to just take our power back because we don't have anything to be scared of anymore and nothing to take away our power anymore. I mean, we just need to take our power back, and it's not about him anymore. He's nothing. Or do we need to just stop talking about it?
No, it's just fear, you know.
And it's so liberating when you finally realize that there is absolutely nothing to be scared of anymore. It was all a huge lie.
Can there be some truth to it? I don't know. Can it have been a real guru?
I mean, the truth is, yes, we are love, we are peace, we are knowledge, but he didn't help us get there. All he did was put fear. What are you feeling right now?
It's just fear. It's like
Fear. Like lightning will strike you from the sky?
I don't know. It's not used to. I guess I'm not used to talking freely, like, or saying something bad about.
Really? Yeah. Maybe you haven't ever been in a situation or environment where you felt safe enough to say what you really and truly deep down feel.
Yeah. I don't think I can say something bad about the girl.
You can't say it. Yeah.
Would rather.
You don't want to. Okay.
Not deal with it.
Yeah, we don't have to say it.
It's too.
It's too scary. Yeah.
So when I think I was 16 or 17, and it was one of the talks, and I was sitting at the talk, and suddenly I had this thought, what if Blue Devil asked our parents to drown all the children?
What would they do? What did you think they would do?
I don't know, but it was terrifying.
The lie was everything. When you went back to Israel, when I went back to the United States, we knew we had to protect this secret with lies, right? We had to make up stories to tell our friends and our other family members, right? I couldn't tell my teachers, I couldn't tell my friends. I know my mother was lying to her employers about what she was doing for part of the year. Is that not only are you split off from other people who are outsiders by this gulf because they're not part of the Anandvadi group, you're split off from your own insider fellows because you can never tell them what it is you're really thinking if you're having any doubts or if there's anything at all you're questioning, right? So even folks like us, when we get together, we can't really talk because I don't know what you're thinking about Anandvadi, and you don't know what I'm thinking about Anandvadi, and all we can talk about is the weather, We can't so we can't even be intimate with the only people that we can share this experience with. We can't be intimate with outsiders because they're not part of our in-group. We can't be intimate with each other because we don't want to reveal our true selves to one another. So it's the total death of all intimacy, even between siblings and between children and parents.
Why between children and parents?
Because you can't speak honestly to your parents. As you know, or your own siblings, about how you may feel.
Come on, then.
I'm sorry that you had to go through this, that we had to. I hadn't fully come to terms with that, or thought that until now. On some level, I had not had a mom, or I had lost my mom to the guru a long, long, long time ago, and had never got her back,
אתם הובאתם להודו, אוקיי?
כן.
אתם לא בחרתם להיות בהודו.
אוקיי.
רק מי שבוחר ופתוח לקבל מורה, יכול להיכנס לזה. אתם לא. אתם באתם בגלל שאנחנו באנו, ההורים. לא בחרת בזה. זאת אומרת שלא היית מוכן ולא היה באותו רגע הצורך שלך, ולא יכול אולי להיות, או כן, בגילאים כאלה, לפתיחות כזאת שאתה רוצה מורה רוחני. אתה לא רצית. אני הבאתי אותך לשם.
אוקיי. אז אם ככה, אז למה 20 שנה מהחיים שלי לא היה אכפת לך משום דבר שהוא קשור אליי, ורק היה אכפת לך מהדת שלך?
מי אמר שלא קשור? זאת אומרת, איך אפשר?
כל 20 השנה הראשונות של החיים שלי, חייתי את
אני יודעת,
את והגור שלך.
אבל בגיל 16 או 18 לא יכולת להגיד, אני לא רוצה?
בגיל 16 או 18 לא יכולתי להגיד כלום.
לא יכולת להגיד, אני לא רוצה? אבל יואנה כן אמרה. יואנה בגיל 16 הלכה.
יופי, מעולה.
אבל בן אדם בגיל 16 הוא בן אדם מבוגר.
כן? גם שוטפים לו את המוח מגיל 0? שאם הוא יגיד משהו רע לגור הוא ימות?
שמה?
שאם הוא יחשוב משהו רע לגור הוא ימות? את יודעת מה הגימיק של כל הדתות, של כל הזה? לא גימיק, מה השיטה של כל הזה?
זה לא דת.
תגדירי את זה, כי את רוצה לדבר על משהו, אבל אסור לקרוא לזה בשום מילה.
לא, תסביר לי איך...
קאט, אוקיי? לא דת, קאט.
זה לא קאט.
את יודעת מה השיטה של כל הכתות?
אני יודעת, כבר דיברנו על זה המון.
לשכנע אותך שאתה חייב את הבן אדם הזה. את משוכנעת שאת חייבת את הבן אדם הזה כדי לחיות.
לא.
אז מה?
לא מסכימה איתך לגמרי, ואתה תיתן לי את המקום שאני לא מסכימה איתך. לגמרי. אני לא חייתי בשום קאט. בחיים שלי לא חייתי בשום קאט. הוא רודף הוא המורה הרוחניות שלי, והוא לא שכנע אותי לשום דבר. אני טעיתי בהרבה דברים, באיך לתרגם את מה שהוא רודף אומר. אני בהחלט טעיתי, ואני מבינה את זה.
ואולי אתה אותי במקור.
מה?
אולי אתה אותי במקור.
אתה יכול לחשוב ככה, אני לא.
אני יודע שאת לא יכולה לחשוב ככה.
אני לא שלא יכולה, אני לא רוצה.
זה כל השיחה שלנו.
אני לא רוצה. למה אתה בגיל כזה, שאני בן אדם מבוגר, כמעט זקן, אתה רוצה לתקן את החיים שלי?
כי תמיד יש לך תירוצים, ובשום גיל אחר לא היה אפשר. בגיל אחר לא היה אפשר בכלל...
למה אתה חושב שאני צריכה שאתה תציל אותי?
א', מי אמר שאני מנסה להציל אותך?
אתה מנסה להוציא אותי ממה שאתה קורא קאט. אתה מנסה מאוד חזק להוציא אותי מזה. מה שאתה קורא שזה קאט. למה אתה צריך לשנות אותי? מה זה יעזור לך שאתה משנה אותי?
שאלה מעולה.
שאלה מצוינת, האמת שהיא מאוד ממוקדת, זאת שאלה טובה, אני מסכימה. טוב, כיוון שכולנו עוד פה, אבא שב, אני אביא לך גם את הסלט, גם את הפרוצה ואפילו את הניוקי. שב.
אני מאוד מקבל שכנראה אני אף פעם לא שנה אותך, ושזה הדרך שלך. זה בסדר, הכל בסדר, גורדב הוא הגור שלך.
אבל אתה צריך לקבל את זה בפנים, שאתה שלם עם זה שמישהו אחר, לא משנה אם זה אימא או אבא שלך,
אבל את יודעת שהסיפור שלי...
עושה דרכו.
אין בעיה, אבל את יודעת שהסיפור שלי זה שנולדתי בתוך כת?
הסיפור שלך הוא כזה, אני מבינה.
נולדתי וגדלתי ב-20 שנה ראשונים בחיים שלי בכת.
אני מבינה, ואני מאוד מצטערת שזה ככה. בשבילך, מאוד מצטערת.
אני יהונתן. נולדתי וגדלתי בתוך כת 21 שנה. לא יכולתי לדבר על זה עם אף אחד, וזה גרם לי להיות מאוד בודד. עברו 19 שנה מאז שביקרתי בכת בפעם האחרונה. אני לא נשוי. עדיין לא הייתי במערכת יחסים. עברתי שנים של טיפול פסיכולוגי. אני עובד על הסרט הזה כבר 6 שנים. אני עדיין מנסה להפסיק להאמין. אני יודע שיום אחד אני אצליח.